Alright, all you listeners to the madness, and I guess a couple of you wrestling fans out there tonight, welcome back to Under the Radar. And now it's time for us to review the pay-per-view that took place this past weekend, celebrating 22 years of the structure that's based upon it, only known as Hell in a Cell from Sacramento, California. And I would do the whole California Dreaming song that they did during that one episode of Third Rock from the Sun, but I'm just gonna get into the results because things would kick off during the pre-show with Lacey Evans going one-on-one against Natalya. A match I could have sworn that happened on Monday Night Raw and I thought was supposed to be the end of it all, but now this is basically not even the rubber match. And during this said contest, Lacey Evans already finished with Natalya after she bit her on Raw and bit off a little bit more than she could chew by trying to steal the sharpshooter once again from Natalya and would end up paying for it by not only getting slapped in the face but getting the sharpshooter slapped on her as well for Natalya to win this match via submission. And after the match was over, Natalya would do a woman's right to Lacey Evans for the announcers to announce on Monday Night Raw for this week that there will be a last man standing match between Natalya going one-on-one against Lacey Evans. And would this be the first last woman standing match to take place on Monday Night Raw? I do believe so. I could be wrong. But either way, the main card of the night and the first match to take place on the actual pay-per-view would see none other than Sasha Banks going one-on-one against the man Becky Lynch for the Women's Championship inside Satan's structure of Hell in a Cell. And during this match, not only it got creative, but it got extremely violent with Sasha Banks doing something that happened to her 2 years prior by beating the Living Daylights flag tag out of Becky Lynch before the match could even kick off, thinking that she learned her lesson from what happened in the Hell in a Cell prior by getting the jump on the man during this match. And then things would get even worse when kendo sticks would get involved. Then Sasha Banks getting hit with the actual chain to lock up Hell in a Cell itself by the man Becky Lynch for a near fall. Then you even saw Becky Lynch pulling off I can't even describe it right, a chair that was suspended up in the air with kendo sticks for Becky Lynch to go running right directly toward with a single leg drop kick while the Blueprint, as she calls himself now, getting kicked directly into the chest and falling down to the ground in a heap after crashing into the corner of Hell in a Cell by being on this makeshift throne of violence. Yeah, you like how I said that, Maestro? Throne of violence. Let's coin that. But needless to say, after all that, Becky Lynch was on the ropes after the beating that Sasha Banks gave her, including a nasty meteora from the second rope onto a steel chair that Becky Lynch was sitting on for a near fall, and even a backstabber and a drop through the table during this match that really looked bad. And to make things even worse, folks, Sasha Banks, who wedged the chair into the side of Hell in a Cell, would use it to get the advantage back during this said contest by throwing Becky Lynch directly into it for her to grab her face in pain and grimace, for the boss to throw thousands, or actually a dozen chairs inside the ring, and while she got done throwing in all those chairs, would take her time out to gallivant and celebrate, which ultimately cost her this match, cause what would happen next? Becky Lynch would get back up, hit her with one of the chairs, do a Bexploder through at least a baker's dozen worth of chairs from the second rope, I almost forgot to mention that, and then would go for her disarmer for Sasha Banks to squirm, scream, and do anything to get out of it, including trying to grab a steel chair or even the hair of the man, for the man not to let up and for her to retain her women's championship inside of Satan's structure via submission. making this the second time the boss has lost inside of Satan's structure. See, this is the reason why I decided to go with the man during our review this past Friday on Music Village. It was for a reason. It's for a reason. And by the way, this is why my sister says showboating is bad, especially inside of a structure that dangerous. You don't showboat. And the next match to take place on this said pay-per-view would feature none other than Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan going one-on-one against the Bludgeon Brothers themselves of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and now what's being called a Tornado Tag Match. Yes, that's right, folks, they changed the rules of the match during the pre-show of the night. Yes, they're throwing curveballs at us now, folks, and trust me, that won't be the last one they throw for the night. But back to this match, because action will go back and forth, including a whole bunch of crazy moves from Rowan and Harper, literally tearing apart the arena to try to kill Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and then would try to go for their makeshift double team power bomb through the announce table to Daniel Bryan, but unfortunately that getting reversed with a Hurricane Rana, very beautiful by Daniel Bryan, taking out Luke Harper. Then Roman Reigns from out of nowhere like a semi-truck, after getting a barricade crashed into his face, into the fans, would come back with a fury with a hellacious spear to Eric Rowan on the outside of the ring. And the worst part about all that is Roman Reigns was clutching his knee, because I do believe when he speared him through, when a table collapsed, I do believe it hit his knee on the way down, which didn't look pretty good, but if they had a better camera angle, I would have more details for you. But besides the big dog grimacing on the ground in pain from that injury, the match would continue on inside of the ring with the Yes Man going one-on-one against Harper, taking him out with yes kicks, drop kicks, and then would try to go for a Hurricane Rana on the top rope, only to get reversed into a disgusting sit-down powerbomb from the second rope for Luke Harper to only get a 2. Then for this match to come to an emphatic end, with Daniel Bryan getting a little bit of backup from the big dog, getting up with a Superman punch, leading into the Baisaku knee, leading directly into the spear for a perfect combination that would lead to a victory for Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns via pinfall. And after the match was over, Daniel Bryan refusing to shake the hand of Roman Reigns, but instead would decide to go back to his anger management days and would try to hug it out with the big dog for Roman Reigns to accept, and for Daniel Bryan to awkwardly stumble up on the ramp, which got me a little bit worried. It really did. And then for Roman Reigns to celebrate inside of the ring. And oh, I almost forgot to mention, beginning of the night, they had a brand new stage for the pay-per-views, which looked pretty good, and alongside with it, pyrotechnics for the pay-per-view as well. Just trying to keep the mood up for the pay-per-view, because let's just say, things are going to get ugly somewhere around the main event of this said pay-per-view, but I digress. Because the next match to take place on this said pay-per-view would feature Randy Orton going one-on-one against Ali, after Ali would challenge Randy Orton during the pre-show for a match. So, like I said before, folks, a lot of curveballs being thrown during this said pay-per-view that originally had only 3 matches announced until earlier tonight. And during this said match, action would go back and forth, Ali doing a whole bunch of his fancy high-flying moves, including the X-Ray, which was the rolling version of an X-Factor that he calls for near fall, and then Randy Orton actually causing a bruise on the side of Ali during this match by not only doing an inverted suplex on the announce table, but also his back suplex on the announce table as well, for Ali to respond back with a suicide dive to the outside of the ring, which looked absolutely incredible. But ultimately, speaking of incredible, this match will come to an end again after Randy Orton thought he would hit the RKO once, only for Ali to figure out a cool way to counter it by going into a push-up position, believing Randy Orton hit the RKO, only for Ali to come back and try to go for his 450, miss that, then try to go for the X-Ray again, only to get caught like a flounder by a bear in the makeshift woods with an RKO from out of nowhere for Randy Orton to win this match and shut up Ali once again via pinfall. And probably one of the coolest RKOs we've seen this year. Okay, probably 5th coolest. I don't know. I can't rank them now, but either way, folks, it was a pretty cool RKO to see on picture. And the next match to take place would be for the Women's Tag Team Championships, which would see the Kabuki Warriors going one-on-one against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And during this match, folks, I got a feeling that Asuka and Kairi Sane decided to turn up the treble during this match and really bring it to both of these girls, because they threw some real hard kicks to kick off this match, including none other than Asuka doing a Shining Wizard to Alexa Bliss, sending her through a loop. And then once Nikki Cross got inside the ring, and I thought they had things under control by doing their tandem Fit Finley maneuver, where Nikki Cross would put, I do believe, Asuka into the makeshift ring apron, and then for Nikki Cross to take a couple of shots for none other than Alexa Bliss to come from out of nowhere doing a sliding baseball slide to the back, only for Asuka to respond with a roundhouse to the side of the head, which looked absolutely painful, and then would send Little Miss Bliss into the barricade. And then once Kairi Sane got tagged into this match, not only she was able to do a thumb to the eye to Alexa Bliss, but also her patented sliding D for near fall. And ultimately, this match will come to an end again after Kairi Sane would miss her insane elbow to none other than Nikki Cross, get hit with a lobotomizer for Asuka to break it up, but then once Asuka got back in the match and went against the crazy Nikki Cross, she would suffer the wrath of a green mist. Yes, that's right, folks. Straight out of New Japan, the green mist would return thanks to Asuka, leading directly to a kick to the head for Asuka to pin Nikki Cross and for the Kabuki Warriors to go home your new Women's Tag Team Champions via pinfall. And for Alexa Bliss and especially Nikki Cross to be pissed off in an interview backstage, saying that nobody in the women's tag team division is safe after what the Kabuki Warriors did. And for anybody at home who's wondering where is Paige managing them, she is still recovering from neck surgery, so we're still hoping that she gets well soon after that neck surgery she's recovering from. And with that match, folks, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with the second half of what happened on Hell in a Cell from Sacramento, California, as Under the Radar continues right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.